Have you ever wondered why some women seem to effortlessly command attention while others struggle to get noticed? Why some relationships thrive on mutual respect while others fade into frustration? Here's a truth most people won't tell you. Attraction isn't just about looks or clever words. It's about how you carry yourself in silence, with quiet confidence and undeniable grace. In a world overflowing with noise, shallow connections, and fleeting validation, standing out isn't about chasing attention. It's about commanding value. But many of us unknowingly fall into the same traps. We overshare, overgive, or even worse, we chase. Does that sound familiar? The good news is, you don't have to rely on these ineffective tactics. What if I told you there's a way to flip the script? A way to make men see you, respect you, and cherish you, not because you demand it, but because they can't help it. The secret lies in mastering 10 powerful silent steps that say, I know my worth. These aren't manipulative tricks. They're rooted in timeless wisdom and deeply connected to the transformative philosophy of Stoicism, and yes, even Dark Stoic Psychology. Each of these principles will empower you to embody value so effortlessly that it becomes impossible for him or anyone else to overlook you. Are you ready to unlock your inner magnetism and make him value you in a way that feels genuine, lasting, and true? Let's dive in, starting with one of the most critical lessons, the art of never chasing. And trust me, once you master this, your entire perspective will shift forever. Step 1. Magnet mode, how to attract effortlessly. Why do we chase? Is it because we truly believe someone is irreplaceable, or is it fear? The fear of losing them, the fear of being alone, or the fear of not being enough? Be honest. We've all been there. You meet someone who seems perfect, and when they start to pull away, panic sets in. You text too much, overcompensate with attention, or try to fix what feels broken. But here's the paradox. The more you chase, the faster they run. Now imagine flipping this dynamic. Instead of chasing, you attract. How? By embodying calm, unshakable confidence that says, I'm worth pursuing. This is where Stoicism comes in, a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. You can't control someone else's feelings or actions, but you can control how you respond. Think of this as reclaiming your power. Picture this. You're seeing someone, and everything seems great until suddenly their responses slow down, their effort fades, and the dynamic shifts. Most people instinctively try harder, sending another text, initiating another date, maybe even confronting them. But what if you did the opposite? What if you step back instead of leaning in? This isn't about playing games. It's about saying, through your actions, my time and energy are valuable. If you don't want to invest in this, that's your choice. But I won't chase you. Here's why this works. Humans are wired to value what feels scarce. When something is too easily available, we subconsciously devalue it. By stepping back, you create space for him to wonder about you, to miss you, to reevaluate his own behavior. This taps into principles of Dark Stoic Psychology, a way of using restraint, patience, and composure to quietly but powerfully shift the dynamic in your favor. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Won't stepping back make him lose interest completely? Not if he's genuinely interested. If his feelings are real, he'll notice the shift and be drawn to your self-respect and emotional maturity. And if he doesn't? Then ask yourself this: why would you want to be with someone who doesn't recognize your value anyway? Stoicism reminds us that sometimes letting go of what isn't serving us creates space for something or someone better. You might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually stop chasing? Start by shifting your focus back to yourself. Reinvest in your hobbies, passions, and friendships. When the urge to reach out strikes, pause and ask yourself, what am I hoping to achieve? Is this action aligned with my self-respect? This isn't about ignoring him or being cold. It's about channeling your energy into becoming someone so magnetic and fulfilled that chasing anyone feels unnecessary. Attraction isn't about clinging to someone else. It's about becoming someone worth being drawn to. When you embrace this mindset, you won't just make him value you, you'll start valuing yourself in a way that's liberating and empowering. So let me leave you with this. What would it feel like to stop chasing entirely? To trust that what's meant for you will come naturally, without force? Imagine the peace, confidence, and clarity this shift could bring. Now, let's take this journey further and explore the next powerful silent action. Step 2. Glow like a diamond, how to recognize and own your value. Let me ask you something. Do you know your true worth? I mean, really know it? Or are you letting the world, or worse, someone else define it for you? The truth is, many of us fall into the trap of measuring our value through external validation, likes on social media, attention from a partner, or society's ever-shifting standards of beauty and success. But here's the thing, your worth is not up for negotiation. It's not something anyone can give or take away. It simply is. Imagine yourself as a rare gemstone. Not everyone will recognize your brilliance. Some might even walk past without a second glance. But does that make the gem any less valuable? Absolutely not. Its value remains constant and undeniable no matter who sees it. You are that rare gem. The question is, do you see it for yourself? Knowing your worth is one of the most magnetic traits you can have. It's not about arrogance or showing off. It's about moving through life with quiet confidence and unshakable self-respect. When you truly value yourself, it changes everything. How you interact with men, how you set boundaries, and how others perceive and treat you. They'll sense that you're not just anyone. You're someone who knows they deserve respect, care, and effort. But how do you get to this place of deep self-worth? It starts with self-reflection, a practice rooted in Stoicism. Take a moment to think about what truly makes you unique. Not the surface-level traits, but the deeper ones. Are you kind? Empathetic? Determined? Do you have a fierce sense of loyalty, a creative spark, or the ability to stay calm under pressure? These qualities are the foundation of your value. When you focus on these instead of external validation, you begin to see yourself through a lens of strength and individuality. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you feel undervalued, pause and ask yourself, what virtues and values do I bring to this situation? Maybe you've shown patience during a tough moment. Maybe your kindness brightened someone's day. Write these down. This isn't about bragging. It's about anchoring yourself in who you are, independent of anyone else's opinions. When you operate from a place of self-worth, everything changes. You stop tolerating poor treatment, not out of pride, but because you respect yourself too much to accept anything less. And here's the kicker. Others will notice. They'll see you're not someone who begs for attention or approval. You're someone who chooses relationships that align with your values, not your insecurities. Think about it. If you don't value yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? The way you see yourself sets the tone for how others see you. This isn't just an idea, it's a law of human dynamics. When you carry yourself with self-respect, you naturally raise the standards of those around you. As the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius said, you have control over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your worth is entirely within your control. It's not about external circumstances or other people. It's about you, your actions, and how you choose to show up in the world. So let me ask you again, what makes you unique? What qualities set you apart? Take a moment to reflect on this, because when you truly see your value, something powerful happens. Your interactions will shift. You'll stop chasing, overthinking, or worrying about how others see you. Instead, you'll radiate a quiet, irresistible confidence that makes others want to rise to meet your standards. Together, we're on a journey of growth, self-discovery, and unlocking your inner magnetism. And this is just the beginning. Stay with me, because next, we'll dive into the art of watching actions, not words. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Step 3. Words are cheap. How to decode behavior. Have you ever been swept off your feet by someone's words, only to realize later that their actions told a completely different story? It's a tale as old as time, isn't it? A man says all the right things, makes promises that sound perfect, and paints a picture of a future that feels almost too good to be true. And often it is. Because as beautiful as words might sound, they mean nothing without actions to back them up. This is where Stoic wisdom comes into play. Pay attention to what people do, not just what they say. Actions reveal character, intent, and priorities far more clearly than words ever will. This isn't about being cynical. It's about being smart. By focusing on someone's actions, you protect your emotional well-being and align yourself with people who genuinely value you. Think about it. How many times have you been let down by someone who promised the world but couldn't even follow through on the simplest gestures? Maybe they said they'd call but didn't. Maybe they made plans, only to cancel at the last minute again. The truth is, consistency in action shows commitment. Inconsistency, it reveals a lack of it. This isn't about expecting perfection. Nobody is perfect. But it's about recognizing patterns. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you're dating someone who often says, "You're so important to me," or "I'll always be there for you." It feels good, right? But what happens when you really need their support? Do they show up, or do they make excuses? Do their actions align with their words, or do they fall short? This is where Stoic psychology becomes a powerful tool. Instead of reacting emotionally to every word, you step back and observe. You focus on what's real, on behavior, not promises. This doesn't mean you confront every inconsistency or make a big deal out of every slip-up. It means you quietly take note and let actions guide your decisions. When you adopt this mindset, something remarkable happens. You begin to see people for who they truly are, not who they claim to be. This clarity is liberating. You're no longer caught up in the whirlwind of words. You're grounded in reality. But here's the other side of this. Your actions matter too. Just as you evaluate others, they're also watching you. Are you consistent? Do your actions align with your values? Are you showing up as the person you aspire to be? When your actions reflect self-respect, kindness, and integrity, you set a standard, not just for yourself, but for the people you allow into your life. Here's a simple exercise. The next time you're unsure about someone's intentions, resist the urge to ask for clarification. Instead, observe their behavior over time. Do they follow through on their commitments? Do they treat you with care and respect, even when it's inconvenient? Let their actions speak louder than their words ever could. This isn't just about holding others accountable, it's about protecting your heart. When you prioritize actions over words, you reduce the risk of getting swept up in false promises. You create space for relationships built on trust, reliability, and mutual respect. Now, this approach requires patience. People will reveal their true selves over time, but only if you give them the opportunity. Don't rush to conclusions. Trust that the truth will come to light, and allow yourself to respond with grace and wisdom when it does. At its core, this principle is about alignment, ensuring that what people do matches who they claim to be, and that this alignment feels right for you. When you live by this standard, you naturally attract people who value integrity just as much as you do. So, ask yourself, are you paying attention to actions, or are you getting lost in words? This isn't about judging yourself. It's about shifting your perspective. Because when you focus on what's real, you step into a place of strength. You stop hoping someone will change, and you start recognizing who they are right now. And from that place of clarity, you can make decisions that honor your worth and protect your peace. When you watch actions instead of words, you take control of your emotional experience. You stop giving your power away to empty promises and start investing in relationships that are as real as they feel. This is where true respect and connection begin. And trust me, it's worth the wait. Let's keep going. There's more to uncover about becoming the kind of woman he can't help but value. Step 4. Quiet power, how to command attention with your presence. What if I told you that some of the most powerful things you'll ever say don't involve words at all? Think about it. Have you ever walked into a room and felt instantly drawn to someone? Not because of what they said, but because of how they carried themselves. That's the power of nonverbal communication. an unspoken language that can captivate attention and leave a lasting impression. Now consider this. What messages are you sending without realizing it? Your posture, eye contact, gestures, even the pauses in your conversations, all of these silently communicate how you feel about yourself and the world around you. But mastering this art isn't about being stiff or overly calculated. It's about aligning your presence with your confidence and worth, starting with how you carry yourself. Picture this. Two women walk into a room. One hurries in slouched, her gaze darting nervously. The other walks in with her shoulders back, head held high, exuding calm and composure. Which one do you notice first? Which one exudes quiet confidence? The second woman, of course. Why? Because she's mastered the silent art of self-assurance. The truth is, your body language reflects how you see yourself. If you carry yourself like someone who values their time, energy, and presence, others will naturally start to value you too. This is where Stoicism connects with nonverbal communication. It teaches us to cultivate calm and composure, which radiates outward in every interaction. One of the simplest ways to enhance your nonverbal presence is through eye contact. Strong, steady eye contact conveys interest, confidence, and self-assuredness. It says, "I see you, and I'm not afraid to be seen." But here's the key. It's not about staring someone down. It's about creating a connection while staying grounded in your own energy. Practice this daily, whether you're talking to a stranger or sharing a moment with someone you care about. Another powerful tool, the pause. In a world full of chatter, the ability to pause before responding or to sit comfortably in silence is magnetic. Why? Because it shows control. You're not rushing to fill the space or seeking validation. You're comfortable with yourself, and that kind of confidence is irresistible. Your appearance also plays a role in nonverbal communication, but not in the way you might think. This isn't about being flashy or dressing to impress others. It's about presenting yourself in a way that reflects your respect for yourself. Wear clothes that make you feel strong, beautiful, and authentic. Groom yourself in a way that aligns with how you want to be perceived, not for anyone else, but for you. This sends a powerful message. I care about myself and I'm worth the effort. Here's another truth about nonverbal communication. It's not just about what you project, it's also about what you withhold. In relationships, there's often a rush to give away your time, energy, and thoughts. But what if you practiced restraint? Stoicism teaches us the value of holding back, not to play games, but to create intrigue. Mystery isn't about being distant, it's about showing there's more to you than meets the eye. It invites others to earn your trust and access to your inner world. Think about how often we give away our energy without realizing it, by over-explaining, over-apologizing, or overcompensating. These habits come from insecurity, but they can be replaced with something more powerful: stillness. When you speak less, but say more, when you hold your ground without overreacting, you create an aura of self-possession that's impossible to ignore. The beauty of nonverbal communication lies in its subtlety. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic displays. It's in the slight tilt of your head as you listen attentively. It's in the way you nod slowly, signaling that you're fully present. It's in how you sit, relaxed and at ease with yourself and your surroundings. This silent power can transform your interactions with men. Instead of seeking validation through words, you let your presence speak for you. Instead of proving your worth, you embody it. And here's the most important part. This isn't about manipulating others. It's about aligning with your own confidence and authenticity. So ask yourself, what is my body language saying about me right now? Is it communicating self-respect, or is it betraying self-doubt? Is it inviting connection, or is it putting up walls? These questions aren't meant to make you overthink every movement. They're an invitation to be more intentional about how you show up. When you master nonverbal communication, you step into a space of quiet, undeniable magnetism. It's not about trying to be seen. It's about becoming someone who naturally draws attention by simply being. And trust me, when a man encounters this kind of presence, he won't just value you, he'll be inspired to rise to meet your energy. Let's keep going. Step 5. Quiet but firm, the no-drama way to set limits. Let me ask you something. When someone crosses a line with you, do you feel the need to explain yourself, justify your feelings, or argue your case? Most of us have been there, overthinking, overtalking, and over-explaining in an attempt to make others respect our boundaries. But here's the truth. Boundaries aren't about what you say, they're about what you do. Actions, not words, are the real enforcers of respect. Think of boundaries as invisible lines that protect your time, energy, and emotions. They don't need big speeches or dramatic ultimatums. In fact, the strongest boundaries are often the quietest. Why? Because they're reflected in how you carry yourself, the choices you make, and what you allow or don't allow in your life. Here's a powerful mindset shift. You don't have to announce your boundaries to make them real. You just have to live them. For example, if someone constantly cancels plans at the last minute, you don't need to lecture them about respecting your time. Instead, you quietly stop making plans with them. If someone disrespects you with their words or actions, you don't demand an apology. You simply take a step back and reduce their access to you. Over time, people learn exactly where your lines are, not because you've told them, but because you've shown them. This silent strength is rooted in Stoicism. The Stoics believed in controlling their own actions and emotions rather than trying to control others. You can't force someone to respect your boundaries, but you can enforce them by holding yourself to the standard you expect from others. When people see that you won't bend, beg, or tolerate disrespect, they have two choices: rise to meet your standards or fall away. Either way, you've protected your peace. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine you're dating someone who makes sarcastic or dismissive comments about your feelings. You don't need a long, emotional conversation about how much it bothers you. Instead, the next time it happens, you respond with calm detachment. You don't laugh, engage, or explain. If they're paying attention, they'll notice your shift in energy. If they don't, you quietly start pulling back. Your silence speaks volumes. I won't accept being treated this way. It's important to note that setting boundaries without words doesn't mean ignoring problems or bottling up emotions. It's about letting your actions do the talking. When you calmly walk away from disrespect or choose not to engage in drama, you send a clear message. I value myself too much to stay in situations that don't align with my worth. This is where Stoic psychology becomes a game changer. It's not about manipulation, it's about embodying quiet confidence that naturally commands respect. And here's the most beautiful part. Boundaries are a form of self-love. When you enforce them, you're not just teaching others how to treat you, you're showing yourself that you're worthy of respect and care. This internal validation is far more powerful than any external approval you could ever seek. Now let's address a common fear. What if setting boundaries pushes people away? Here's the hard truth. If someone leaves because you've enforced a boundary, they were never truly invested in you or your well-being. And while it might sting in the moment, losing someone who doesn't respect you is never truly a loss. It's an opportunity to create space for people who will. Think about it. The people who genuinely care about you will appreciate your boundaries because they understand they're rooted in self-respect. They'll see your boundaries not as walls, but as guidelines for building stronger, healthier connections. And the ones who don't? They'll reveal themselves quickly, saving you time and heartache in the long run. Here's a challenge for you. The next time someone crosses a line, resist the urge to explain or defend yourself. Instead, pause and consider how you can respond with quiet, deliberate action. Maybe it's choosing not to answer a disrespectful message. Or perhaps it's saying no to a request that doesn't align with your priorities. These small, intentional choices add up, creating a ripple effect that transforms how others perceive and treat you. Let me leave you with this thought. Boundaries aren't about keeping people out, they're about protecting what's within. When you set and enforce boundaries without needing to shout them from the rooftops, you create an environment where only the right people can thrive. And that's how you build relationships based on mutual respect and authenticity. If this resonates with you, comment "I hold my ground" below to to let me know if you're ready to start living with boundaries that command respect. This journey is just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's continue building the life and relationships you deserve, one powerful step at a time. Step 6. Change is your ally. How to flow and thrive. Change is a word that often stirs discomfort and fear, doesn't it? Especially when it comes to relationships. Maybe you've felt it, the subtle shifts, the evolving dynamics, the moments when everything feels uncertain. It's tempting to resist, to cling to what's familiar, to fight for things to stay the same. But what if I told you that change isn't your enemy? In fact, it might just be your greatest ally. Here's the truth, rooted in Stoic philosophy. The only constant in life is change. Stoicism teaches us to stop fighting the inevitable and instead embrace it with openness and resilience. Whether it's the end of a relationship, a shift in priorities, or the growing pains of love deepening into something more profound, change is part of every connection. And how you handle it says everything about your strength and self-worth. Imagine a relationship where things have started to shift. Maybe he's becoming distant, or perhaps circumstances are pulling you in different directions. Your first instinct might be to panic, to try to control the situation or demand answers. But here's the thing, the more you resist change, the more friction you create, and that friction often pushes people further away. Now, picture this. Instead of resisting, you accept. You take a deep breath and remind yourself that this moment, however uncertain, is part of the journey. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the need to control and trusting yourself to handle whatever comes next. This shift in mindset can transform how you approach relationships. When you embrace change with grace, you signal strength, not just to others, but to yourself. You show that you're adaptable, resilient, and unafraid of growth. This kind of energy is magnetic. It draws people in, not because you're holding on to them, but because you've created an environment where love can evolve freely. The truth is, relationships aren't static. They're living, breathing entities that grow and shift over time. Sometimes they deepen, sometimes they fade, and sometimes they transform into something entirely new. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate what we have in the moment without clinging to it out of fear. This doesn't mean you care less. It means you're willing to let things unfold naturally, even if the outcome isn't what you expected. Think about this. What if every change in your relationships was an opportunity to grow? Maybe a breakup teaches you to value yourself more. Maybe a shift in dynamics challenges you to communicate better. Or maybe the simple act of letting go creates space for something even more fulfilling. Change, when approached with the right mindset, is never the end. It's the beginning of something new. But let's be honest, embracing change isn't easy. It takes courage, patience, and a deep trust in yourself. It means facing uncertainty with open arms instead of a clenched fist. And most importantly, it means staying rooted in your values, even when the ground beneath you feels shaky. Here's a practical way to navigate change with grace. Focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your energy. If a relationship is shifting, ask yourself, how can I respond in a way that reflects my worth? Maybe it's having an honest conversation. Or maybe it's stepping back to give things room to breathe. Whatever the situation, make choices that align with your values, not your fears. There's beauty in trusting the process. When you stop clinging to what was and start embracing what is, you create space for life to surprise you. Sometimes, the very thing you feared losing wasn't meant for you, and by letting it go, you open the door to something even better. Think of it this way. When a tree loses its leaves in the fall, it's not dying, it's preparing for new growth. The same is true for us. Every season of change is an opportunity to shed what no longer serves us and step into a new version of ourselves. This perspective isn't just empowering, it's freeing. What if you stopped fearing change and started seeing it as a gift? What if you trusted that no matter what happens, you have the strength to adapt, grow, and thrive? Imagine how much lighter your heart would feel if you let go of the need to control and simply allowed life to unfold. When you embrace change with grace, you become unshakable. You show the world and yourself that you're not defined by the outcome of any single relationship. You're defined by how you show up, even in the face of uncertainty. And that kind of strength, it's unforgettable. The truth is, you're not a victim of change, you're a participant in it. When you choose to meet change with courage and an open heart, you don't just survive, you flourish. And that's where true value lies. Let's keep moving forward. There's so much more to uncover about becoming the kind of woman who inspires respect, admiration, and love, not just from others, but from herself. Step 7. Own your no, why it's your secret weapon. Imagine the last time you said yes when you really wanted to say no. Was it because you were afraid of disappointing someone? Maybe you worried they'd think less of you, or worse, pull away entirely. It's a familiar trap, isn't it? We're taught to be agreeable, accommodating, and flexible, especially in relationships. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that goes against your values or comfort, you're saying no to yourself. Saying no isn't just a word, it's a declaration of self-respect. It's a way to show the world and yourself that your boundaries matter, your feelings are valid, and your time is precious. But saying no can feel risky, especially when emotions are involved. What if he reacts poorly? What if he pulls away? These fears are real, but they're nothing compared to the strength you gain when you stand firm in your truth. Let's break this down. Imagine your partner suggests something you're uncomfortable with. Maybe it's moving faster than you'd like, or maybe it's something that conflicts with your values. It might feel easier to agree just to keep the peace, but deep down, you know saying yes would be a betrayal of yourself. This is where the power of saying no transforms everything. By calmly and confidently expressing your boundary, you're not just protecting yourself, you're setting a standard. You're saying, this is who I am, and I value myself enough to stay true to that. And here's the surprising part. When delivered with grace, a firm no often commands more respect than a hesitant yes ever could. Saying no isn't about being difficult or unkind. It's about clarity. It's about knowing what you stand for and refusing to compromise on it. This is where Stoicism becomes your ally. The Stoics teach us that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting in alignment with your principles, even when fear is present. When you say no, you're exercising that courage. You're choosing self-respect over the fear of conflict or rejection. Now, let's address the fear of what happens when you say no. What if it drives him away? Here's the hard truth. If someone can't respect your boundaries, they're not the right person for you. A relationship built on mutual respect won't crumble because you stood up for yourself. In fact, a man who truly values you will see your no as a reflection of your strength and self-assurance. Picture this. Someone invites you into a situation that doesn't align with your values. Instead of nervously explaining or making excuses, you respond with quiet confidence. That doesn't work for me. No anger, no drama, just a clear, firm boundary. This simplicity is powerful. It shows that you know yourself and that you're not afraid to honor your needs. Saying no isn't just about relationships. It applies to every part of your life. It's about recognizing when something doesn't serve you and having the courage to walk away. Whether it's declining an invitation, stepping back from a draining friendship, or refusing to settle for less in your career, every no is a step toward reclaiming your energy and focus. But let's be honest, saying no isn't always easy. It can feel uncomfortable, especially at first. You might worry about being seen as rude or uncooperative. But here's a question to ask yourself. Who's more important, the people you're trying to please or the version of yourself you're trying to honor? The answer is clear. Saying no is a radical act of self-love, and it gets easier with practice. Here's how to start. The next time you feel the urge to say yes out of guilt or fear, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this in alignment with my values? Will this bring me closer to the life I want to create? If the answer is no, give yourself permission to honor that. Remember, a no doesn't have to be harsh or defensive. It can be kind, calm, and firm. This principle ties directly to Stoic psychology because it challenges the power dynamics in relationships. By saying no, you're subtly but powerfully asserting your independence. You're showing that your worth isn't tied to someone else's approval, and that's a deeply attractive quality. Let me leave you with this. Saying no isn't about rejecting others, it's about affirming yourself. It's about creating space in your life for what truly matters, the people and opportunities that align with your values and elevate your journey. So, the next time you face a choice, remember this: you hold the power. Use it wisely and watch how it transforms not just your relationships, but your entire sense of self. Stay with me, because we're about to dive even deeper into the silent actions that make him value you in ways you never thought possible. This journey is far from over. Let's keep going. Step 8. Walk like you mean it. How to own every room you enter. Picture this. You walk into a room and heads turn. Not because of what you're wearing, not because of what you're saying, but because of the way you carry yourself. There's something about your energy, your posture, the quiet confidence radiating from you that commands attention. You're not loud, you're not flashy, but you're unforgettable. What's your secret? You carry yourself with pride. Let's pause for a moment and reflect. What does it mean to carry yourself with pride? It's not about arrogance or striving for perfection. It's about self-respect. It's about knowing who you are, embracing your flaws, and showing up with authenticity and strength. When you carry yourself like this, people notice. And most importantly, he notices. Carrying yourself with pride starts with how you see yourself. Do you treat yourself with kindness? Or are you your own harshest critic? Do you honor your time or let others waste it? The way you regard yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. If you constantly second-guess yourself, apologize unnecessarily, or shrink your own worth, you send a silent message: I'm not confident in who I am. But when you hold your head high, take pride in your unique qualities, and move through life with self-assurance, your energy shifts completely. The truth is, the way you present yourself reflects how much you value yourself. This doesn't mean you need to wear expensive clothes or follow a specific style. It's about intentionality. Are you wearing something that makes you feel strong and beautiful? Are you standing tall, shoulders back, and owning your space? These small changes don't just impact how others see you, they transform how you see yourself. Now, imagine this. You're at a gathering and see two women. One is hunched over, fidgeting with her phone, avoiding eye contact. The other is relaxed but poised, smiling gently, fully present. Which one draws your attention? Which one feels magnetic? The second, of course. Here's the secret. You can be that woman. Not by pretending to be someone else, but by embracing and amplifying the confidence already within you. Stoicism offers us valuable insight here. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. You may not control every outcome in your relationships, but you can control how you present yourself and respond to the world. Carrying yourself with pride means showing up as your best self, not for others, but because you deserve it. Think about your actions. Are your words thoughtful and intentional, or are you trying too hard to please? When you listen, are you fully present or distracted? And when challenges arise, do you panic, or do you stay calm and composed? The truth is, how you respond to life's moments reveals your inner confidence. Carrying yourself with pride isn't about being perfect. It's about resilience. Everyone has insecurities and awkward moments. What matters is how you handle them. Do you let mistakes define you, or do you learn, grow, and move forward? When you show that you can face life's ups and downs with grace, you become someone others admire, including him. So let me ask you, how would your relationships change if you fully embraced your worth and carried yourself accordingly? What if, instead of bending over backward to impress someone, you focused on being your authentic, confident self? What if, instead of chasing approval, you let your actions and energy speak for themselves? This mindset shift is transformative, not just for how others see you, but for how you see yourself. When you carry yourself with pride, you stop settling for less. You stop tolerating disrespect or half-hearted efforts. Instead, You attract people who value your worth because they see that you already do. If this resonates with you, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me if you're ready to own it and walk with confidence. The journey to becoming your best self is just the beginning, and there's so much more to discover. I'll be here to guide you every step of the way. Let's keep moving forward. Step 9. Flow with it. Why change makes you magnetic. Let's talk about something that can feel both exciting and terrifying. Change in relationships. Change is inevitable. Dynamics shift, emotions evolve, and circumstances challenge us in ways we never saw coming. It's easy to see change as a threat, something to resist or fight against. But what if instead you saw it as a gift? A chance to grow, adapt, and uncover strength within yourself that you didn't even know was there. Here's the truth. When you resist change, you create tension, not just in your relationships, but within yourself. You cling to what was out of fear of what might come. But when you embrace change with grace, you signal a deep trust in life's natural flow. This isn't about giving up or being indifferent. It's about learning to navigate what you can't control while focusing your energy on what you can. Imagine this. You're in a relationship and things begin to shift. Maybe the spark feels different, or external pressures make it harder to connect. Your instinct might be to hold on tighter, to demand answers, to fix everything right away. But what if I told you that you can't control someone else's emotions or actions? The truth is, the only thing you can control is how you respond. Instead of reacting in panic, step back and ask yourself, what is this change teaching me? Maybe it's pushing you to practice patience, to communicate more clearly, or even to reevaluate whether the relationship aligns with your values. When you shift your perspective, change stops being the enemy. It becomes a powerful teacher. This isn't just about external changes. It's also about recognizing and embracing the changes happening within you. As you grow, your needs, desires, and boundaries might evolve. And that's not just okay, it's beautiful. It's proof that you're alive, learning, and stepping into a fuller version of yourself. When you honor these internal changes, you send a message to others. You're not afraid to grow. And that kind of self-awareness? It's magnetic. But let's be real, embracing change isn't easy. It means letting go of the need for certainty, which can feel uncomfortable. You might ask yourself, what if I lose him? What if this change leads to the end? These fears are valid, but they don't have to hold you back. The truth is, holding on to something that no longer serves you only blocks you from receiving what's truly meant for you. Sometimes, the bravest and most loving thing you can do is let go for yourself and for the other person. Here's a powerful exercise to help you embrace change with grace. When you feel resistance, pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing? Is this fear based on reality, or is it a story I'm telling myself? Then shift your focus to what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your energy. By grounding yourself in the present, you release fear's grip and open yourself to new possibilities. Stoic psychology offers another layer to this. It teaches us to approach change with curiosity instead of dread. Ask yourself, what opportunities might this shift bring? What strengths might it reveal in me? By reframing change as an ally instead of an adversary, you empower yourself to handle even the toughest transitions with confidence. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone in your life pulls away. Your first reaction might be to chase, cling, or demand answers. But what if instead you leaned into the space they created? What if you used that time to focus on yourself, to explore your passions, to grow in ways that fulfill you? Not only does this show immense strength, but it also shifts the dynamic. Instead of trying to control the outcome, you focus on becoming your best self. And in doing so, you naturally draw respect and admiration. At its core, embracing change with grace is about trust. Trusting yourself, trusting the process, and trusting that what's meant for you will find its way. This doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for life to happen. It means showing up fully, taking inspired action, and staying open to unexpected paths. So let me ask you, How would your relationships look if you stopped fearing change and started seeing it as an opportunity? How much lighter would you feel if you let go of control and embraced the freedom of just being? When you embrace change with grace, you show a rare kind of strength. You prove that your worth isn't tied to any single outcome, and that makes you resilient and magnetic. Because nothing is more compelling than a woman who faces life's uncertainties with an open heart and an unshakable sense of self. This journey is ongoing, but it's one of the most rewarding paths you'll ever take. Stay with me, there's one more step to tie it all together. Let's keep going. Step 10. How to guard your heart, but stay open. Let me ask you this. How often do you take someone's words at face value? It's tempting, isn't it? Especially when you're caught up in the excitement of a new connection or relationship. Sweet words and promises can feel intoxicating. But the truth is, words are easy to say. Actions reveal the reality. Developing a healthy sense of skepticism isn't about being jaded or distrusting. It's about staying grounded in reality and protecting your emotional well-being. Healthy skepticism doesn't mean doubting everyone's intentions. Instead, it's about stepping back and observing before fully investing your heart. This principle, deeply tied to Stoic psychology, encourages you to remain balanced and logical, even in the face of intense emotions. It's about asking yourself, does this feel real, or is it just what I want to believe? Think about it. How many times have you been swept away by someone who said all the right things, only to realize later that their actions didn't align? Maybe they promised consistency, but only showed up sporadically. Maybe they painted a beautiful picture of a future together, but never made tangible steps toward it. These moments can be heartbreaking, but they're also opportunities to learn the art of discernment. Here's the power of healthy skepticism. It allows you to slow down and truly get to know someone. Instead of rushing into a connection based on words or surface-level gestures, you give yourself the time to see if their actions align with their claims. This doesn't just protect your heart, it ensures that you're building relationships on a foundation of authenticity and trust. Now, let's see how this plays out. Imagine meeting someone who seems almost too good to be true. They're charming, attentive, and quick to talk about their feelings for you. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of excitement. But instead of diving in head first, you pause. You observe. Do they follow through on their promises? Are they consistent in their behavior? Do their actions match the picture they've painted with their words? By taking this approach, you create space for the truth to reveal itself. If they're genuine, their actions will reflect their intentions, and your trust in them will grow naturally. If they're not, their inconsistency will become apparent, and you'll save yourself the pain of investing in something that wasn't real. But this isn't just about protecting yourself from deceit. It's also about deepening your understanding of the people around you. Healthy skepticism invites you to ask thoughtful questions, listen actively, and approach connections with curiosity rather than assumption. This aligns with Stoic principles, staying present, observing dynamics, and making decisions based on evidence, not emotion. There's another layer to this. Sometimes, our eagerness for something to work out convinces us to overlook red flags or settle for less than we deserve. By practicing self-awareness and questioning your own reactions, you ensure that your choices come from a place of confidence and clarity, not fear or desperation. This might sound like a lot, but here's the beauty of it. Skepticism doesn't make you colder or less open. It makes you wiser. It empowers you to approach relationships with balance, ensuring you're neither too guarded nor too trusting. And when you strike this balance, you create space for connections that are truly meaningful and fulfilling. Here's a simple exercise. The next time someone makes a promise or declaration, resist the urge to take it to heart immediately. Instead, make a mental note to observe. Give it time to see if their actions follow through. This isn't about testing them, it's about giving yourself the gift of clarity. Now you might wonder, doesn't skepticism make you seem untrusting? The truth is, it depends on how you approach it. Healthy skepticism isn't about accusing or doubting, it's about quietly observing. It's about holding space for someone to show you who they are, rather than rushing to conclusions. This subtle difference changes everything. Ultimately, developing healthy skepticism is about honoring your worth. It's about saying, I'm willing to give you a chance, but I won't abandon my standards or ignore my instincts to make this work. This mindset is deeply attractive because it shows you value yourself enough to prioritize emotional safety and authenticity. So let me leave you with this. What would your relationships look like if you approached them with both an open heart and a discerning mind? How much stronger would your connections be if they were built on trust, not illusion? This is the power of healthy skepticism. It protects you, empowers you, and ensures you're building relationships that truly honor your worth. And when you embrace this principle, you don't just become someone he values, you become someone he respects, admires, and feels inspired to rise for. Tie it all together, become the woman he can't ignore. You've made it this far, and that says so much about your dedication, not just to becoming the best version of yourself for someone else, but for your own growth, confidence, and fulfillment. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on everything we've covered. From never chasing to mastering nonverbal communication, setting boundaries, and embracing change, each of these steps builds on the others. Together, they create a strong foundation of self-respect and an energy that naturally draws others in. These principles aren't about playing games or trying to control anyone. They're about living in alignment with your truth and letting that truth guide your relationships. The real beauty of these 10 steps lies in their quiet strength. They don't shout for attention, they command it. When you align with these principles, you create a presence that's impossible to ignore. You become a rare combination of strength, grace, and authenticity, a woman who knows her worth and inspires others to rise to meet it. But here's the most important takeaway. This journey isn't about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. When you live out these actions, you're not just showing him your worth, you're reminding yourself of it every single day. And that kind of inner transformation, it's priceless. So let me ask you, what would your life look like if you truly embodied these principles? Imagine walking through life with unshakable confidence, building relationships that honor your worth, and letting go of anything that no longer serves your highest good. That's the kind of life these actions can create, a life filled with dignity, depth, and lasting value. If this resonated with you, share this video with someone who might need a reminder of their own worth, because growth is even more powerful when we do it together. Remember, you already have everything you need within you to create the life and love you deserve. Until next time, keep growing, keep thriving, and most importantly, keep valuing yourself.